Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. You may notice that our background is different. We're in an undisclosed location.
It kind of looks like we're on one of those New Year's Eve shows.
Oh, like a Zoom show?
No, like one of those New Year's Eve, like when Kathy Griffin and Anderson Cooper would be at like Ground Zero on New Year's Eve.
Do they do live from Ground Zero this New Year's Eve, live from the home of 9/11? I think it's Times Square, honey. I don't think they do a ball drop at Ground Zero.
Oh, right.
Hey,
that would be good.
yeah,
I mean, mix it up a little bit.
Right. This year, we're not doing Times Square. That's a little played out. This year, we're going to do the New Year's Rockin' Eve, coming at you live from the Oklahoma City bombing site.
Come on now.
I'm saying they do 9/11 one year, Oklahoma City the next. They go do that.
Okay, I shouldn't have
the
said that.
Bataclan in Paris.
That was dumb.
No, that's. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun area. Pulse nightclub. They could do all kinds of fun New Year's. Hey, Tosh. Tonight we have some advice that we need to ask our. We give a lot of advice. Actually, there's a really great comment on your Instagram. You posted one of the clips from last week's episode, and somebody in your Instagram said you two are bad at giving advice, which I thought was such a brutal comment, since that's literally the podcast.
I mean, I just think that we give very measured advice.
I agree. I think that guy's a piece of shit.
I mean, we're usually people's elders.
That's true.
We've been through something similar, and that's what wisdom is. Wisdom is like
age. Wisdom is being old, you guys.
It's not age, actually. You can be a wise 4-year-old.
Maybe you guys listening can transfer your thoughts from okay, boomer, to okay, boomer. You know, get the wisdom of the elders. But Tosh, we need your help.
Yeah.
Right? We need the help of our listeners. We don't exactly know what to do. We've got these 3 elderly chihuahuas, and here's the situation that we're in right now. They're pissing on stuff. It looks as though they piss on stuff because we value it. We bought 2 new rugs, and they pissed on both of them.
It's like the second they see it fluffed out there. And I told you about that rug. You said, what do you think of this? And I said, it looks like a chihuahua toilet.
And
it became it as soon as we brought it to our house.
It has become just that.
And I love rugs.
I know, honey.
And I love chihuahuas.
What do you love more, would you say?
I'm starting to love rugs more.
Well, yeah, it does feel like the dogs, when a rug gets unfurled, the dogs go, "Is that Turkish?" Because I'm trying to piss on that. I love is that plush Turkish?
I also know which dog it was. Like Pablo, he has a penis.
He's got a spray.
So he sprays it like on
Dexter.
The bottoms. He sprays it. I just re-cleaned the bedding because he sees and he loves like loose fabric. He's like, if someone,
he likes to pee on something billowy.
If he sees like someone coming towards you with in bell bottoms, he wants that. The shower curtain kind of falling down, he'll spray his, because old Cutie couldn't squat on a fringe hanging down.
Old Cutie, it'll be like a long, that's
like a big old
young
piss pile.
Yeah, young Pablo, you'll see like a spatter pattern like Dexter or like a CSI.
Yeah, it looks like that
in the green, in the black light, trying to find out what kind of blade the killer used.
He peed on my tennis racket. The first day I started to take tennis lessons, I put the tennis racket in the corner, and it just got peed on.
Is this relatable, you guys? You ever have a Turkish rug and a tennis racket? You're getting ready to take a tennis lesson. You ever have a pile of loose diamonds and your chihuahua will splatter on it?
Well, anyway, tennis is a good sport, especially for social distancing.
No doubt. And we had this Russian lady that was telling us, she kept calling us team. And when we hit it right, she'd say, "That's spicy." And she was really awesome. I thought she was very cool. But
anyway, the point is the dogs go after things like once Pablo peed on your computer.
Right. Well, let me just clarify. Here's the crisis point we're at today. Although we haven't.
Do we hang our dogs?
No, we'll never hang our dogs. What we opened today, I was at work and I knew that there was this problem. So I was on Zoom all day at work. I work on OnlyFans as a cam girl. That's not important. But I had the doors wide open so that they could come and go all day long. The doors, like sliding glass doors, were wide open. And they pissed anyway. So it's like they're doing it.
So they could access the outdoors.
They were essentially outdoors, and then they would come in
to piss.
Yeah. Oh. Ugh. And Cutie would do one of hers. So like we said, Pablo's got that like Dexter splatter, and then Cutie's it's more of a geriatric waterfall. Like it kind of seems like
it's like her bowels just open.
Yes, it's like
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you don't pee out of your bowels though, right?
Oh my God. No, I know, but it does seem like she just needs Depends.
She does. They need dog diapers, but I can't. I honestly would rather live with pissy rugs than have 3 dogs in diapers. I can't do that.
Wait, and then Blanche, she's just copying them. She's probably would be good, but then she sees that they're peeing everywhere.
And she said, "Oh, that's a toilet?"
Yeah.
So anyway, here's what
maybe they think it's like grass.
No, they don't think anything.
It is like clockwork.
Is there any? They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Is there any hope? Is there anything we're doing? What are we doing wrong here? We try to take them out. I open the fucking sliding door for their asses and still the pee. Is there nothing to be done? Are there any dog experts out there that can help us?
Yeah, I just feel like we've like they say you can't experiment with lesbians like after you're like college.
What?
I was just saying.
They say what?
I thought that was a thing. Like
you can't experiment with lesbians after college.
No, if you haven't experimented, then you're not gay.
I don't know this quote, but I would love for you to break it down for me.
No, I'm just saying. After college, if you never were curious, then maybe you're not gay. But maybe you can. Anyway, the point is, I was going to say.
It wasn't until the third try that it even started to resemble a saying. The first time, what they say?
It's not a saying.
You can't go.
I was trying to equate it.
A nugget of wisdom.
With like it's gone too long. It's like. Can we cut this?
No, we can't. This doesn't get cut for sure. I mean, if it had been problematic, I would have maybe talked to you about being able to cut it. But it's so confusing. I don't think that there's any gay person out there that would have a problem with this other than the logic of it. If there's by the way, if we have any gay rhetoricians out there or gay grammarians, they might be offended by what you just said.
It's terrible. I'm not making sense. I just meant like, it's gone too long.
There's no going back.
There's no going back.
I think the saying you were looking for is once you go black, you never go back.
Oh my God. No, it wasn't a saying. I'm just saying
once you go black lesbian,
a lot of people
you'll never go straight white again.
Anyway, I don't know why. I was just trying to say that, it's not, maybe it's not going to happen.
Yes, like they're going to pee on our stuff for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Like I was never curious about other women until I was
you're trying again?
Until I was 25. So then people would always say, you can't, if you haven't experimented by then.
I truly admire and applaud your courage for attempting to go back to make this point.
You.
No, it makes less sense than when you first started. Wait, I genuinely, let me ask you, are you interested in women?
Sexually, no, but I'm just saying, I remember hearing that it was something I heard that like, oh yeah, if you haven't experimented in college or explored it in college, then
then what?
then it will never happen. Is that not true? I don't know. It's like something they tell people in the Midwest.
It doesn't just sound true. It sounds like truth, ancient truth. It sounds like the wisdom of the ages. Now that I understand what you're saying, if you haven't, guys, here's something to think about.
Please stop repeating it.
If you haven't lesbian in college, by the time of old, never will thy experience that of this time. Natasha, would you like to move on from this?
Yes, please.
How about we move on into an advice call? But listen, write us, tell us, how do we get these geriatric dogs to stop pissing on our rugs?
Yeah, it's really sad. And it takes up a lot of my day.
Scrub and pee?
I'm just always cleaning.
I was doing yoga today, and I did one of those things where you flip your knee over and you curl it towards over your leg and then flop it down, and I flopped my karmic yogic foot into a puddle of piss.
What is wrong with them?
I don't know. If you
I
can
think
help
we
us,
just have too many dogs.
if you can help us, write us, let us know what we're doing wrong. And while we wait for your advice, we will begin to dole out some of our own. Let's do a call. First, we are going to call Jane.
Jane in Detroit.
Yo, Jane.
Hi, Jane.
My God.
I
Hi,
know.
guys.
Is it a lot to take in?
Do we look like Kathy Griffin and Anderson Cooper
At Ground Zero?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
You
I
don't
mean,
know
I
who-
do know Kathy.
You don't know who either Kathy Griffin nor Anderson Cooper? Do you know what Ground Zero is?
I know Kathy Griffin.
Okay, good.
My mom went to high school with her, and she said she was the worst.
No way.
That's my lore about Kathy Griffin, is that she's the worst.
Well, I will say Kathy Griffin, I don't think is the worst, but I can imagine based on her stand-up persona that teenage Kathy Griffin, high school Kathy Griffin, that would be a lot to take in. Oh, wait, you have a little dog?
Oh yeah.
Can you
This is
bring it
my
into
little-
frame? It's a little white dog.
Oh, does that dog pee on your stuff?
Yeah.
No, he's
What?
real smart. I know. I work from home, so I really like train the shit out of them.
Maybe our dogs are dumb.
Oh, is that what it is? Maybe our
I think-
dogs are
I think-
stupid.
You
That's
guys
a poodle.
have
We have street
yeah, it's a poodle.
chihuahuas.
those never get potty trained. That's the thing about them.
What?
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. What's it called? Chihuahuas never get potty
Everybody
trained.
knows that. You don't even know who fucking Anderson Cooper is. Don't try and
Oh,
bring
you say
wisdom to us.
Anderson Cooper? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Who do you think
Oh, I
we
thought-
said?
I don't know. I just didn't really hear it.
Okay.
I didn't want to be put on the spot.
Wait, I just realized this is why people get purebreds.
It's exactly why people
Yeah.
get purebreds.
What?
I mean, I was gonna adopt, and sometimes I pretend like he was I don't even pretend.
I mean, that's the dirty news about purebred dogs.
What?
Is that
Oh.
they're like they're a little bit like on some like weird Nazi shit. Like they're a little superior to
What?
mixed breeds.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding? Wait, did you get your dog at the mall?
No, I got it from a breeder. It's like shame. People always put shame on it. I met this guy at a dog park though, and he literally had a dog that was a poodle that he got from the pound because it was a busted Amish puppy mill. And that was his reason. He's like, I have a guiltless poodle.
All right. Well, listen, we've gotten to know you. Although,
By the way, that you just gave me great advice.
I mean, what's the advice?
Go to the Glendale Galleria the next time I need a dog. I'm gonna get one of those padoodles or whatever.
a padoodle. What's
don't
that?
know.
It's a poodle and a Doberman.
I don't know. Some kind of dipsy doodle thing. One of those little like what kind of dog is that you have?
It's a Maltese poodle.
A Maltese.
little-
That's a cute ass
Yeah.
dog.
You know what? No
dude,
more of
he's
these
a-
street dogs.
Listen,
Forever puppy.
Jane, question for you. Last thing I'll make fun of you about. Do you live in Detroit?
Yeah.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Because I always
Like
ask,
I live in
there-
Hamtramck, which is
I
a
know the
city within
Hamtramck
Detroit.
actually. My
Yeah.
friend John Brummett, who was the director of the Mocha in Detroit. He's famous because he bought $100 house in the Hamtramck and turned it into a livable space. $100 house. But
We're kind of in something like that. There's a lot of tax auction.
Hamtramck is an interesting neighborhood. When I was last there, maybe it's not like that anymore. It would be like the houses were so cheap, like every third house was an art installation. So it would be
That's
like,
why it's cool.
yeah, it's cool. It would be like a white artist, Bangladeshi immigrant, black Detroit native art installation, white artist, and it was such an interest. I never seen a neighborhood like that. But you pass the test because usually when white people tell me they're from Detroit, I say Detroit, and they go, well, a little bit outside of Detroit. But you,
Well, I'm not from there either.
yeah, hey,
I'm just
fair
live
enough.
here.
All right, Jane.
But does Moshe know more about Detroit and your particular area than you do?
Maybe.
Then you
just
expected. Then you expected.
Than I expected.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah.
it's so cold in the D. How can we help thee?
So I have a friend, a really good old friend, like long distance friend, who had a really horrible drinking problem, kind of hit rock bottom. And then he got sober right around when COVID hit, moved home. I'm getting married, like it's like however many years later of COVID. I'm getting married. I asked him to be like a bride's person, like in my party or whatever. And I'm starting, it's like a year before now, and I'm starting to have like bashes. I have a big friend group that's really tight. Starting to have bashes, and I don't know how
Starting
to
to
invite
have
them.
bashes.
Like,
She's like, I know we just got out of a pandemic, but I am starting to. It's bash season.
She's like, I don't know if you know, I'm not native to the Hamtramck.
We should all just ignore any variance and just bash season.
Yeah, bash
No,
season.
I mean, it's bash season, meaning like these 14 people I'm going to party with for the next year, and it's going to be a bash.
Wait, all in honor of your wedding?
That's like a reason, maybe. Like the venue.
You're having a year of lead-up bashes for your wedding?
We need something to look forward to.
No, you know what? Your parents...
She's like, my friend has an alcohol problem.
Your parents loved you too much. I think we can all agree on that. Okay, so what's your question?
So my issue is, I don't know how to bring up. So he's never been tempted, right? He's been in a year of COVID, a year of sobriety. I don't know how to invite him or the conversation around inviting him. I don't want him to be this to be the first time he breaks his sobriety. And also we have a history. Most of my friends in this group I met through like Burning Man adjacent events.
Okay,
and
I like this. I like you. You seem much more intriguing to me now. Okay.
He parties with them, and he's only ever partied at a burn with these folks. So he has a history of partying with this friend group. And now he's about to be thrown in a situation that's highly tempting because it's so much fun.
Wait, I have a question. Has he partied with this friend group while he's been sober?
No. This is the first time he'll have done anything since he was sober. So I'm like, I don't know how to invite him. I don't want to invite him almost because I'm like, but then I feel horrible because I'm like, I'm not inviting.
And you don't want him like off the wagon at your wedding, and you know what I mean?
I could almost do that, but is that even nice?
Wait, do what?
You know? Like not invite him to bashes.
No. Oh,
I know, exactly.
Well, there's a lot going on here. First of all, the fact that you're how many bashes do you plan on having? Pre-wedding bashes do you plan on having?
Probably like 3.
Okay, so you're going to have 3 lead-up parties. Not close to the wedding, like literally like...
No, we're having like a Halloween, like the place where I'm getting married is like a cottage of my family, and so we're all going to go to that cottage like however many times before and just like
I want
have
to
a hoot.
Yeah, we would love to come to the bash, by the way.
Please.
To your parents' cottage.
How long has this friend been sober now?
Since COVID started, so like a year and a half.
And do you know that he is like actively involved in like...
No.
He's just white knuckling it at home, kind of a thing.
Yeah, he hit rock bottom, and now he's just like, I'm sober, but also he doesn't leave the house, kind of thing.
I got it. Well,
I mean, you're the sober expert, Moshe.
Well, I mean,
a conversation definitely seems in order. Am I right?
100%. I mean, that's the thing. It's like for me, I can say I did 12-step stuff for a long time, but
it'd be so weird to not invite him. By the way,
I agree with that too. I did 12-step stuff for a long time, and I know that there's a quote actually in the AA book that it says I think this is a quote. But I think it's any program of recovery that is based around shielding the alcoholic from seeing alcohol is doomed to failure. And then because it's like a folksy book, it says like you could even send the alcoholic to the North Pole, and then an Eskimo would show up with a bottle of rum and ruin everything. And I don't know if they have Eskimos in the North Pole. This was 1935, and these were old Christian guys. They weren't exactly the wokest people. But the point is that especially for a person that's cool like you and your friend group, this guy doesn't want to be like rejected and like only able to hang out with squares and never invited anywhere that his old friends go because they're afraid that he'll be tempted. He wants a life. You get sober to have a life, not to be shielded from your your old life.
Also, I just realized this is a great talk. This could be over coffee, and you could just say like, so I just want to know, like, as I plan these parties, is there anything I can do for you, provide for you? You know, like for Moshe, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but for our wedding, we had a coffee truck 'cause he was sober and a lot of friends were sober. And like, you know, you could even say like, is there some kind of, and like, you know, the times in my life where I haven't drank, it's like, you know, you might not want to stay too long, or I don't think you should tell him that, but like, you know, sometimes it's like having food there, or, you know, and some sort of alternative, you know, like you could have like a cool hibiscus cooler,
like a mocktail,
or you know, you don't want to make it a big deal if he's the only one, but just and ask him, maybe he has an idea. Is there anything I can do? I just want to touch base check in.
But yeah, so everything
to make you comfortable as we invite as we as bash season starts.
Bash season begins, as we begin to bash, we'd like to. I mean, I think Natasha's on to something. you don't want to go out of your way, because to be honest, every time people try to make special dispensations for, I've been sober for a very long time, but the whole time when people try to make these special dispensations for me, I would become incredibly uncomfortable because I didn't want anybody to make adjustments based on my problem. I had a problem, so now you have a problem. I didn't want that. A mocktail is not that. A mocktail is a really nice offering, but I think option A is having a real open conversation with him. You know us. We like to do Molly, and we like to put on bass,
Not Molly, not Molly.
And ketamine. We like to do ketamine. We like to do ketamine leading up to weddings, the most romantic of all drugs. We like to do ketamine. And you know that that's who we are. And I'm sure you don't want us to adjust the way we're going to behave. And you shouldn't, by the way. Don't do that. That's the worst of all the options, is you having bashes that aren't as bashy as you want them to be because you have one friend that had a problem.
But I will say, one-on-one, if you do have a friend who's sober, it's always nice to not flaunt it in their face if you know they're still struggling. Like Moshe doesn't give a shit if I smoke, if I drink wine in front of him or smoke pot or whatever. But I have friends who've specifically told me they miss wine who are sober. I'm not going to like have a glass of wine at dinner with them.
No, you do have a glass of wine.
But I'm just saying that's just
I'm
how
just saying
I am.
I'm sober. And I'm telling you.
What? But you still don't like pine after being able to have a glass of wine.
If I can't be around...
No, they can still do it. I'm just saying it's rude.
If I can't be around wine, then it is my responsibility not to go around wine.
Maybe I'm just tripping.
No, I'm not saying you're tripping. I understand where you're coming from. You're coming from a more codependent place. But I'm coming from a place of like, the way you're supposed to be when you're sober is you either go and accept the people the way they are, or you say, you know what, I'm not ready to do that. But I have a mechanical suggestion for you. If you don't want to, maybe don't invite him to all the bashes. Maybe tell him, look, the bashes are going to be crazy, but I definitely want you at my wedding, right? That's important to me. Tell me where you're at. Do you want to go to all the bashes? Because if you come to the bash and you relapse, it's not going to be fun for me. You're going to ruin the bashes.
No, you think she should see that?
Let me finish my thought, though.
Okay.
But I want you to come to this. I want you to come to this wedding, and here's what I think you do at the wedding. Let's say he's like, look, I'm not ready for all the bashes. At the wedding, where's this cottage?
West Michigan on
like the middle of nowhere.
No, on Lake Michigan, like a tourist town. It's called Saugatuck.
Okay, I got a weird suggestion you may not like. He's like your best friend. One of your best friends.
Old friend.
Close,
yeah.
Find somebody in your weird burner community who's sober, who you don't even know, right? And pay that person a trip to your wedding. Like, say, hey, we're gonna have a really nice time. I'll get you a hotel room, and just this is a weird suggestion, but they do this on movie sets. Like when people are sober and they're newly sober, they get what's called a sober companion.
No, I used to waitress at the whiskey bar in New York, and I remember like Slash would come in with like this like 45-year-old middle-aged woman, and she would just sit there and make sure he ordered cranberry juice.
I mean, I'm suggesting that if he's important enough to you, I know weddings are expensive and it's kind of weird to think about paying people, but
I don't think I'd have to pay him like a burner. I feel like they can just be like a party.
A cool sober burner, and you say, I have a sober friend that's there. All you got to do is come hang. Just come hang, and I'll introduce you to my friend and say you're a sober guy. And if your friend needs somebody, because that's all it takes is one other person at the party to go, oh my God, thank God you're sober too. Can you talk to me? Can you talk me through this? If he becomes tempted, and the odds are, he probably won't become tempted because he'll be there for you. But just having one other sober person there to kind of be there, I think could be really cool.
You're saying he meets this guy on her wedding night and decides to hang out with him?
No, I think I have ideas. This is a good idea. Like I know some adjacent people that were already kind of on the fence that I'm like, I think they don't drink. Yeah. They might do other stuff, but I don't think
so. It's about talking to the friend, seeing what he's up for, and then if he is like, oh, I want to be invited to all the bashes, say, okay, what can I do to make it comfortable for you? Because obviously I don't want you to relapse. This is like really important to me, and I'm so proud of the work you've done on yourself. It's so inspiring. It's so whatever you want to say.
Or maybe, listen, the more that I think of it, the idea of you inviting a semi-stranger who's sober is a little crazy. All you really need to do is ask one of your friends, one of your core group of friends, the one that does drugs with the least abandon, and just say, hey, for my wedding, now back on those bashes, I want you in a K-hole the whole time. But at the wedding, would you mind just being sober would you just mind staying sober through the wedding so that homie can come to you if he's having a hard time?
I love that. This is great advice, you guys.
Boom.
I wish I would have taken notes.
Well, you can listen to the podcast. We're actually recording this.
And also,
So I'll pause.
when you go on my Instagram and whoever wrote that we give bad advice, will you say that you disagree?
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'd really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And also, would
will.
you get a cardboard box and drill tiny holes in it and then put that dog in the box and mail it to us? We'll give you our address offline.
Come to the bash. You can have them if you come to the bash.
Honestly, you gave me such great advice. I did not know that Chihuahuas peed on the carpet more than other dogs.
No one told us.
Told you that? They're the
Who
smallest
told
dog
you
that
that?
exists. Their bladder's this big. I used to be a dog girl, you know.
Wow,
Okay,
you really
read
are
the-
a burner.
I read the dog books, you know.
All right, Jane. Listen, you seem cool. We could be friends with you, but we'll see you at the next burn. And congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you. Come to a regional. Come to the Michigan regional.
That sounds like fun. Want to go to a
Oh my God.
Michigan regional burn?
Well, is Patty Smith there?
No, I don't
She
think
lives
she
in
goes.
Detroit. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll see.
Don't-
She does.
I
No,
thought
she
so.
doesn't. She lives in New York.
Oh, I thought she lived in Detroit.
Well, how come Jane knows so much more about the world than you?
I mean, I'm right.
All right, Jane. We'll talk to you later. Good luck.
You guys are the best.
You're the
Bye.
best.
Bye.
Jane was cool.
Who told her that Chihuahuas? Is that something you're supposed to just know?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what we're going to get 10,000 emails telling us.
See, I grew up with a huge Labrador that I would like walk in the morning and like take on my paper route. And that dog never peed anywhere.
Well, it had a big fat bladder, big fat lab
Right.
bladder.
He could probably like hold it all day.
Mm-hmm.
He weighed like more than me.
Well, that's why we got to get my German Shepherd. You know, if we'd gotten Zorro from that weird Nazi, that dog would have been not pissing on our stuff right now.
So German Shepherds don't like spray their piss on your
I sure hope
bedspread.
not, because think about how fat that piss would be. That's like a person piss.
Oh, God, I feel so dumb. Why do I have 3 Chihuahuas?
Well, to be fair, one of them is mine.
Right.
So you only got 2. You only made the choice twice.
All right. Well, maybe that it just seemed like she knew what she was talking about.
I do agree. It did feel it had
seemed
the
like
ring
she
of
was from like a
truth to
nice
it.
family, and they just told her things.
Yeah, she was cool. I want to hang out with her. Let's go to the bash.
I bet her name's not Jane.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
That's the name I always tell Uber drivers. Isn't that like Jane Doe? You know,
Oh, that's like a secret, would you say?
that's kind of a secret. I mean,
Would
it's
you
not
like
really
to
a secret?
hear some secrets?
Yeah, I would like to hear a secret, a real one.
Hey, Moshe and Natasha. This is me. I'm not going to share my name, I guess, but I love your work individually and as a couple, and maybe you'll like this secret. I am someone who was raised home church and homeschooled in Texas, and I am a burlesque performer in Anchorage, Alaska. My parents still don't know that I'm a burlesque performer, and I'm 35 goddamn years old. And they lived with me while I was performing somewhat infrequently, and they live 2 doors from me now. So I feel like it's only a matter of time until they find out. Yeah, love the work you're doing, and I'd say talk to you later, but I'm not going to. So yeah, keep making great content. Oh, also, you totally need to have Patty Harrison on as a guest star. That would be amazing. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, here's the thing. That's a hard one because you don't want to tell. I love Patty Harrison. You don't want to tell your parents because it would just like upset them.
She's just a burlesque performer.
But that would upset homeschooled Christian people, homeschoolers, Christian church.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But
That's
at the
fair.
same time,
You want to be yourself. You want to be true to yourself.
but also like I just don't have any space in my head for piousness.
And I don't have any space in my head for burlesque performers, so I don't know how to give this person advice. You know, I think that at a certain point, it's, you know what it is, actually, I've realized, having heard these secrets over the years, it's a balancing act. The true question, how old are your parents? Because if they're 60, even 70, you got to tell them. If they're 80, 90, they don't need to know, because they'll be gone pretty soon.
But telling a Christian mother, but that's the thing, I'm always trying to protect them, and maybe she shouldn't be protected.
Who, the mom?
Yeah.
I just think it's...
Maybe, but it's not like coming out. It's more just like I dance and writhe my
Mom.
body, and you
Mom,
know, you.
Dad, I do a performance where I'm in a schoolgirl outfit, but I have like weird makeup on, but then there's tassels on my breast, but I also hula hoop, but I'm on a
Can we
unicycle.
come see it? And then she's going to try to be. Your mom's going to spend the next 7 years trying to figure out what a burlesque performer is, and then she's probably going to, I guess, just come. Would she come see her?
I don't know. Good luck to you. Let's hear another secret.
Hey, Natasha, Moshe. So I just want to preface this by saying I don't jerk off a lot, maybe once a week. But I do enjoy when you go to those public restrooms where you can lock yourself in, just, your own little room. I love jerking off in there. What? And then once I did it in a multi-stall bathroom where I was at the end and I was just in there. And I tell you that to tell you my secret. So I work
That's not
inside
the
people's
secret?
homes, and sometimes they're not home. And once I was in a house and they weren't living there yet. We were working on it. And I jerked off in their basement and finished into a pile of dirt on the floor that hopefully dried up before they ever cleaned it up. Thanks, guys. Love the show.
See, whenever a man calls and I hear him say, "Hey, Natasha, hey, Moshe," I'm like, this is going to be about him touching his like ejaculating.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, but it is a funny idea to think of a woman masturbating in a public restroom.
I'm sure we have listeners that have masturbated in a public restroom. I'm positive. You seem to think that everything is differentiated.
No, it's just harder for
Why?
a woman because she has to sit on the toilet, or I guess you could stand with one.
What do you think men are doing? Hopping?
Oh, I figured they were like standing up and using the toilet bowl as their jizz collector.
Every time I have ever jerked off in a public restroom, and I've definitely done that, I've been sitting on the toilet.
Okay.
You don't want to deal with the focus of standing up. I hate jerking off standing up.
Public restroom though, it feels like it would not turn me on to be there.
This is what's interesting. My normal reaction to that would be you don't go in there to get turned on. You go in there because you are turned on. But that's actually not true for our secret listener. It seems like he goes in there because it turns him on to be in there. For me, every time I've jerked off in a public restroom, it's because I got horny. You're
like, I can't jerk off on the street. I got to go into this
restroom. or in my office. When I used to work in a cubicle, and when the need would hit me, I'd take a little break, go downstairs, do my business, wash my hands, get back to work.
I guess a girl could kind of take that. She could put her foot up on the toilet bowl and then like one leg up, her foot on the toilet bowl, and then like one leg up, one leg down, and then I guess do it there.
I don't know.
With her pants like.
You've never jerked off like in a bathroom or anything?
Yeah, I've jerked off in a bathroom in a house that I live in.
Well, but never like in a public one? Never?
No.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm a prude.
I'd say you're like the dad from Footloose. There was somebody that commented on our Instagram recently that said that I mention that like all the time. So I just thought I'd give that person a little shout out.
Cool.
All right, one more secret. And then I want to go watch Squid Game. It's my favorite new show on Netflix. I love it. It's not for you, Tosh, but did a little recommendation for the listeners.
Hello, Mr. Casher and Ms. Legero. My secret is that I've been gaslighting my sister for like a decade. Basically, when I was like 11 or 12, I saw some change on our kitchen counter, and because I was a little shithead, I just scooped it up and put it in my pocket. It was like 75 cents. And my sister saw this, and since then, to this day, like 15 years later, she'll still bring up that I steal money from my parents to my family. And every time she does, I just basically act like I have no idea what she's talking about, even though I know she's referring to that incident because she watched the entire thing. And my mom will like pull me aside every time she brings it up and be like, why did she say that? Like, what? You wouldn't do something like that. And I just say, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know why she thinks that about me. That's like really sad that she has that opinion of me. But yeah, she watched me steal money and she's right. But I haven't stolen any other money. So she's kind of wrong. Okay, bye.
This is like both sisters have far too intense a relationship to this unbelievably boring memory.
She stole 75
cents.
cents. Well, but when you're little, that was maybe more
But
money.
they're adults now, and one of them thinks the other's a thief, and the other one's like, my dastardly plan is working.
Just be glad you have a sister, and it sounds like a special relationship.
It does not. It sounds awful.
You think?
One of them thinks the other is a thief, and the other one is like, I'm torturing her by telling my mom I'm not a thief, when in fact I truly am. It is I who stole the 3/4.
You know what? I think you guys need to look beyond the 75 cents. What else
you
is
think?
going on? I want to know.
You know what? Let's do another call.
Okay.
Now we're going to call Corey and Haley in Minneapolis. It's a Midwest kind of night. Corey, Haley.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I have a question for you girls. I have a question for you guys. I have a question for you.
You okay?
Well, I just said girls, and then I was like, well, maybe they don't want to be called girls. I don't know.
Yeah, what are your pronouns?
Okay.
What are your
Okay.
pronouns? All right.
Well, but sometimes people are like have their own thing. Okay. Anyway, I've been telling people recently, my friend's dating someone from Minneapolis, and I keep spouting this thing that I think is true because my mom's from Minnesota. But don't you have to like plug your cars in the winter, like at shopping malls to keep it warm?
No.
I tell people this like all the time.
You know, something about the way you said no was so brutal. It was like
I remember like
making fun of Natasha would have been less brutal than just the no. No, it was so blunt.
We do have automatic starts though, so you can start your car before you get to it, so then it's already warm.
Okay.
But
Also, Natasha's from the Chicago area. It's not like she grew up in
Minnesota's like colder.
Is it way colder? Well, you don't know.
Yes. How cold does it get in like February?
very cold.
Like
negative. We got to like negative 30 some last year, I think.
They're like living in the negatives, honey.
Oh, okay. Living in the negs.
It's pretty crazy there, but it's a cool place. There's a lot of art. They've got they had a great little theater section. Anyway, how's it going?
Yeah. Hi. What's up?
So we wrote in because we are looking to start a family. So we're looking for some sperm.
Oh,
And,
I'll hook you up. Absolutely. Is that what you want? You didn't need to come on the podcast. You could have directly emailed. I mean, it's in the mail. Check's in the mail. Okay.
We have a couple guys in mind that we know from going to high school with them or like in our past, but we don't know how to like hit someone up we haven't talked to in a long time and ask them for their sperm.
Wait. Oh, these are just random dudes from your past that you're like,
Well, the first thing you have to ask yourselves is it important to you, or is this like a financial thing to go with someone you know, or is it important to you to go with some sperm that you might be familiar with, that the guy can maybe visit once in a while? Let me know.
yeah.
A little of both.
I see.
So it's cheaper and you want somebody that's in your orbit, not just a random stranger from a clinic.
Yeah.
Because
already has like 700 kids.
But
Got it.
but the nice thing about a stranger from the clinic is it is sort of like no baggage.
That's true. But
Yeah,
you've made
that's
up your
true.
mind. It doesn't matter because
Yeah.
you've decided already, right?
I mean, what I would do is I would first make my list in order. Like you have like your top pick.
Yeah, what's up with your top pick? Why'd you choose him?
You're a dude.
I don't know.
He's intelligent. Seems like he's a mature dude.
Have you guys all hung out together?
No,
No,
I
actually.
actually haven't met him.
We kind of just scrolled through Facebook and like our friends were like, "That's this number."
Why is this so
Yeah.
casual? I mean, I know the stereotype is that lesbians like to stay casual, but this seems very casual.
I mean, here's the thing. First of all, you need to know if this person is going to be interested at all, right? Because what's the incentive?
Right. What
Is his incentive, because you're not going to pay him, right? So is his incentive to start a family with you guys? I mean, that's like...
It's a good question. Why do you think he would be down? What gives you any inkling that he would be down?
Well, our goal is to just kind of ask him, like, would you donate? Because we want someone who, like, when our child is older, like, if they want to meet the guy, then they'd be able to.
Ooh, he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
No.
No, I mean, listen. Go ahead.
I was saying that's the struggle. Is like, how do you find someone that's that intermediate between a sperm donor bank kind of thing versus, you know, like someone that you know, and how do you find that?
The problem, I think, tell me if you agree, Natasha. How old are you?
30.
30. You're a little young to be going for people that are your age. What you really want is a dude that's like rounding like 47.
Why?
I'm about to tell you. Because who never got married and doesn't have a family. And then you're like, hey, you know what? We just solved this problem for you. You know, but a person that's 30 is like, I'm still trying to do my own family thing. Like, I'm not trying to have another kid floating around. What about a gay guy?
That's an option.
Well, I just assumed this person wasn't gay. I don't know why I didn't get any more information.
Well, I think you have to like both talk about what your priorities are for the sperm donor, because, you know, if one of you is like, I want this guy with the kid every week, I want him to be a real part of our lives. Or if you're like, maybe when he's 16, he can know who his dad is. I just think you really want to get that clear. And I was just reading this thing, from this woman, Emily Oster, and she was talking about like priorities for your family, and that you shouldn't talk about them. You should write them down separately, because then when you talk about it, you might just agree with each other when really, you know, like really, because this is such a huge decision. And I think that maybe the two of you separating and maybe just writing out what your expectations are for it, then you can start like coming together and coming up with who the perfect person would be for it. You know, and then you can start asking and getting rejected and, you know, just going through that, you know, and you're 30, like think of this sucks. But like, you know, I got rejected in a different way, which is like my eggs didn't work and I had to keep like doing IVF and keep shooting hormones up my ass for like 10 years, you know, but it's like
they go in your butthole. Can you believe that? It's such an ineffective system.
No, they just need to do it like where there's a bunch of fat.
I used to do that. And I used to have to do it for her too. And can you imagine the thing I love the most on this earth? Used to have to stab with a needle every night. I'd be like, this is my pride and joy. But wait, okay.
Oh, but I guess my point with all that is that, you know, this is part of the process, is that you're going to come up with because you also like, what do you not want? You don't want someone annoying. You don't want someone who's going to be creepy. You don't want someone who's going to encroach. Like, you guys are the family, you know, you're in love. You have the relationship. It's like adding a third wheel, like.
Or do you want someone that can be like a 25% dad, or somebody that can be a visit once a year dad, or a not dad, just a donor? What is it that you guys want?
We want someone who's a donor, and then when our child is older, like they have the availability, because when you go through a sperm bank, so many of them are anonymous, or you can't find out until they're 18. And, you know, kids are probably going to want to know before they're 18 is kind of what we thought.
Also, I will say, like, being really clear with what you want from them is going to not scare the right person away, because like some guy you just found on Facebook who like you just remembered about, and you call him and you're like, hey, my lover and I, my wife and I, we would like you. We were thinking, I mean, it's a little weird.
To nut in an envelope and send it to Minneapolis.
But I'm just saying, it's like the clearer you are, the less afraid people will be of this.
I think that's super smart.
I could totally see people getting scared of it, but if it's presented in the right way, it's like, you know, what I would want to hear as a man, I would want to hear that like it's totally up to me. We like you and compliment them for all of these reasons. And, you know, obviously financially we would be this. You could be as involved as you felt, but like, you know, it's and then I would definitely, once you start talking about it, like all three of you hang out together. Because what if you don't like that dynamic, you know, and he wants to be more involved? I don't know. I just feel like it's a process.
I have a feeling. I think what Natasha's saying is super smart. Like that, think of all of this as like a road, not a destination. Not like, okay, Thomas. It's more like, let's begin the process. Like maybe we'll ask somebody from our past and see if that works. You might strike it rich on the first ask, but you might immediately realize, okay, this didn't work. But and then you start doing things, you know, oh, let's try this. But I actually have a feeling. Have you researched this? You maybe know more about this than me. Aren't there people out there that are like interested in something like this? Like, helping a couple and like staying semi-involved, but like not quite as clinical as a sperm clinic, but a little bit more degree of separation than high school buddy?
There's actually an app for it. It's like Tinder for sperm.
No
basically.
way. Wow.
Yeah. But then
it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, there's some interesting individuals on that app.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't. I would rather go with someone I knew. I think if those were.
Yeah, we
if,
kind of swiped through a ton of guys on that app, and we talked to some of them, and it just didn't really feel right.
Got it.
And you can always go back to that, but like for now,
That's
you're
true.
like, we want a quality friend type person who's associated with one of us. We want to and
It's not really our story to tell, but our dear friends are in this exact situation happened to them, and they literally asked their surf instructor. Like, we're in the ocean and we're like looking at him, we're like, hey, and they have this wonderful family now where they fly back to where the surf instructor's from once every little while, and he's involved on those trips, but then they fly back to the States and they're a family, and it just worked for them.
And I think it's important to keep a little bit of yourself open to something like that happening, because that's what we've seen, right? So it's like,
I would say a podcast talking about this, then the two of you are so cute, like somebody's going to watch this or listen to this and go, you know what?
and it's going to get them horny, and they're going to nut into a cup.
No, they don't want him horny.
Oh,
They
right.
want him compassionate.
They want him to get horny enough.
And then horny. Compassionate first, interested, horny, then not horny for the rest of your lives. Just like yeah.
I'm curious, when you guys so you said you kind of picked your friend from Facebook. Is it like a physical, are you looking for physical attributes too?
Good question. Is he hot? Do you care?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of both, because like she's carrying, and then I have like blonde-ish hair and blue eyes. So we're like, how do we kind of combine all of this with that? So that's kind of been
somebody
part of
that kind of looks like you a little bit is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to decide what we want to, pick out.
It's kind of cool in a way. It's so modern. Like this version of starting a family is so like contemporary that it's like there aren't rules, and I think that's pretty cool. Like the rules of like what family look like in the kind of typical heteronormative way were so established for so long, and like this whole culture jamming idea of like, you know what, I'll pick a friend. The friend will look kind of like me, but he'll be smart, and we'll just make our own rules. I think like that's pretty cool. And like I said, we have friends that it worked for. So like I think try it. What's the worst that could happen? You'll get rejected and you'll move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Be bold. Just ask people when it feels right.
And
it's so great that you guys want to have a family, because you seem like you'd be really great parents. You seem very positive and loving, and
we got a good sense of humor, and that's the most important part, I think, so far.
You think that's the most important part of being parents is being funny?
Just being able to laugh at stuff, I think, is like big, and not take things too seriously. Question.
I agree.
Oh, thank you.
I would say baseline care is probably the most important.
Well, yeah, and food. Yeah, baseline care, food, and then laugh. Okay, what are you going to say? Tell us. Okay, we're the people.
I don't know. I don't know how to be like, hey, how you been?
You got good swimmers?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're going to get rejected. No, and I don't mean forever. Yeah. I think like the odds of you asking one person isn't.
Well, there's just got to be something in it for them. So unless they're like a really close friend, so it's like the closer the friend, the more realistic it is that they're going to say yes.
That's totally
unless
true.
You're like, I'll give you $5,000, or whatever is like half the amount of money. That, you could say, I don't know, how much is sperm if you go through a bank?
It's about $1,000 a time.
This is more. Actually, this is more intense than going to a clinic.
$5,000. I thought, because I know when you buy eggs, it's more expensive.
But I'm saying this is more intense than going to a clinic. A clinic, you just come into a cup and you leave and you never think about it again. This is like, they're going to meet you. You're telling them, we want this to be open so that our kid, someday when our kid asks, we'll tell them, this is who your dad is. Like, so that's more intense than a sperm clinic. So it's like, you might, basically, what you want is one of three things. You want a person that wants a family but not enough to commit to being a father, and who will just be like, this is awesome. I love this idea, because it's almost like having a kid, but I don't have to do anything. Or B, someone that loves the two of you specifically and is like, yes, I want to help them. Or somebody that just likes the idea of like helping a queer couple start a family. Those are kind of like the three targets, but you don't know anything about these people, right? You don't know where they're at.
And also, even if they don't have a partner now, I mean, do they want to explain to a partner in a year that they have a baby with another couple? So it's like, that's why I think being really clear about what you want, and then really kind of going out slowly to the right people and putting feelers out, and also just being really open to something else happening.
Let me say this. If I had never met Natasha and someone from my past, like you two, hit me up, and I was my age, and were like, we want this, I would seriously consider it, because I would be like, this is kind of perfect. Like, I don't know. I don't have a partner. I haven't found love. I do.
Meanwhile, he comes over when the baby's like 6 months old, and he's like, I'm out. It's like shitting, spitting up.
No, exactly. I go, I'm out. I'll be back in 2 years. I come back, 2.5, cuter. I'll be back in 4 years. I come back 6.5. Well, this kid's a real dynamo. But I would really consider it. I would go like, this seems cool and like an easy way for me to have the kid without like fully committing to this lifestyle. So I feel like somebody is out there for you. And it's exactly like when we had our kid, we thought we were disappointed when the first 3 tries of the egg didn't work. And then the egg that worked, the last egg, is our kid. And I'm like, thank God those first 3 eggs didn't work, because I never would have met my kid. Like, it would be some other kid, and I don't want some other kid. I want this kid. So like when the first guy rejects you, think of it like that. Like, thank God he said no, because that was clearly not the guy that was supposed to be. That was not the sperm.
Oh, you're everything happens for a reason type of bloke, Moshe?
I'm that type of bloke.
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm that type of bloke. I hope you guys find the right type of bloke for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck. I think it's going to be great, and you're family enough. So just like getting clear with what you want and really thinking outside the box a little bit about it. And I think it's really cool, and it seems like the right...
Well, they are thinking outside the box. Get it, everybody?
Good one.
Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
Good luck.
Yeah, this is awesome, and an exciting beginning to a journey that is going to end in something so cool and so special. And so I just think focusing on that, like every person that says no, go, yes, we figured out another person that's not supposed to do this. Let's find the person that is.
All right, good luck, you guys.
Yeah. Oh, will you keep in touch and let us know what happens?
Yeah, of course.
I love that. Awesome. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Oh, they were sweet.
Oh, wait.
What?
Why don't you give him some of yours?
Literally?
You didn't even offer.
I mean, I did. It was the first thing that I said. But I didn't.
Wait, would you? Let me ask you that.
Whew, that's intense. My problem is...
Why not?
Because my problem is, the reason I would be reluctant to do it now is if I had a kid now, knowing what I know about having a kid, I would want to be really involved in that kid's life, like really involved. And I wouldn't feel that comfortable.
Why don't you just let them take the wheel?
I mean, this is a major decision for you to put me on the spot on the podcast.
You could just like come play basketball in 12 years.
I could come show him how to plug his car in.
I swear, I remember, maybe I'm just older than them, because I remember being in Minneapolis for my class trip in 8th grade, and you had to plug the cars in because they didn't have self-starting or that you couldn't make your car start from your phone.
You know what I couldn't.
But then you had to like plug it in or it would freeze over, so you couldn't even leave the store.
Well, Natasha, one thing I was very impressed with was that you were able to somehow restrain yourself from bringing up that old classic piece of wisdom with those two.
Which one?
If you're lesbian in college, wait, have you guys heard this? If you haven't heard about plugging your phone.
If you haven't done it in college,
it's
not going to happen.
That felt like a quote.
It's not a quote.
Or
it's just something
a cogent
people
idea.
said.
That felt coherent. Congrats.
Thank you.
Tosh, I think we should go. I think it's time for us to go.
Okay.
And before we go, would you really want me to give them my sperm? That would definitely be quite a story.
I don't know. I'm not as precious about your sperm as you are.
We could definitely get some hits for the podcast. Like, it would be good publicity for the podcast. Podcast host impregnates 2 listeners.
Men love to ejaculate, don't they?
Yeah. Men love to ejaculate. What is this? Now that's a piece of wisdom that makes even more sense than if you're not a lesbian in college. It's not gonna happen. You know why? Because men love to ejaculate. Natasha, I make fun, but you know what? The real truth is, I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.